this is Pharaoh's Visor from www.dsdatabase.org, and today we're going to look at the new Wood R4 firmware that was released by Yellow Goblin today. So, I'm sure a lot of you have R4s lying around, or perhaps have friends that have R4s, and you'll know that the official firmware has pretty much stopped at 1.18, leaving the R4 with a ton of games that it can't run properly. Even with the help of ILS and Unofficial menu that brought it up to 1.24 before stopping, you'll have problems running games such as Pokemon Soul Silver. Now, it's not impossible to run Soul Silver. You can always run the patches such as Rudolph's patch that makes a game run fine. There's always the ARM7 patches, but it's a whole lot of hassle. There's another unofficial firmware called YS Menu, and that also increases compatibility, but there's still a load of games that don't work. You'll see that the R4 that I have here is a fake, but Wood R4, despite the claims of only working on the genuine, will also work on clones that are of the very original R4. So no R4Is, no R4 SDHCs, but if you have R4 Revolution for the DS, it should work. So what is Wood R4? Well, it is a menu based on the Ace card firmware. You'll see that this is an actual Ace card, so there's a whole lot of stuff you can do with the Ace card firmware that you just couldn't do with the R4. So what I'm going to show you right now is the Wood R4. This is my R4 cartridge with the ILS firmware, and here is my other R4 cartridge. This one's a real one with the Wood R4. So Wood R4 is based on Wood RPG and is made by Yellow Goblin, I think. And this is a small micro SD, so I don't have too many games here. You'll see that it looks exactly the same as before with my Ace card menu, and this is not simply a skin as, whoops, well, I guess I'll run a game just to show you guys. There you go. Adra Unison works just fine. But the point I was getting to is that this is a fully functional firmware. If I open up the start menu, you'll see that the copy, paste, delete still works fine. The settings, and of course even skinning works just fine. Here's an unofficial skin I downloaded. Oops. Okay. So I suppose I have to restart to get this working. Anyways, there you go. New skin. This skin was designed to work with the Ace Card 2 or the Ace Card RPG. So essentially, all Ace Card skins are available to you now. I'm not a fan of the skin, so I'm moving back to my Zelda skin. Anyways, let's skip all the fancy stuff. Cheats work fine, all that jazz, but more importantly, how do games work? If you look at Pokemon Soul Silver, I had it running on my other R4 cartridge just fine, but I had to run a patch made by Rudolph. This, however, this ROM right here is completely clean. There were no patches or anything. And you'll see that it runs. Now, of course, having been released today, I haven't checked out all the freezes or anything, but the fact that it runs is encouraging as it is. Now, let's try something a little harder. This game right here, I'm not even going to try and butcher the name, doesn't work on even some full-fledged flashcards, aside from the use of patches. So, you'll see that it runs right here on an R4. And let's go for another one. WarioWare has been a cause for problems. And let's see, I think it's creating a save file right now. Just hang on. And again, it runs fine. So, why would you pick an R4 over an ace card? Well, you really shouldn't. If you had the option, always go with the ace card. But I know for a fact that these cartridges, the fake R4s, go for $3 on Deal Extreme, $3.50 or so. And, well, that's significantly cheaper than the $12 or $13 that the ace card costs. Furthermore, if you pay another 50 cents, $4 or so, you'd get the micro SD reader, which doesn't come with the ace card anymore. So, buying a cheap R4 might not be such a bad idea anymore. I am not telling people to go out of their way and buy this game, or buy this cartridge. I always recommend the ace card over the R4, but if you're in a tight squeeze financially and you want to save a couple bucks, you now have an option that will run a decent amount of games. Keep in mind that this is Wood R4, which is from the firmware Wood RPG. It's not AKAIO, it's not the official ace card firmware. So, you might not get the blazing fast updates that Normat offers on his AKAIO, but still, the fact that you have a firmware now that looks great, you have options for, let's see, you have options for different interfaces, hiding files, cheats, GBA settings, which is to go with the Easy Flash, and of course you can run games without all these patches. It's great news for people who want to save a couple bucks and don't mind waiting a little longer for their firmware updates, and it's also great news for people who stuck with the R4 all these years. Again, it will never beat the ace card, I think, but this is $3 to $4, which is almost 1/3 the price. And that's about it. I think this is wonderful news, despite some people not thinking it so. You have full access to the ace card cheat library. You can use all their skins. You can even use their fancy features like cut and paste and favoriting different games. I haven't used that yet. And yeah, games run fine. I was just about to hand this cart over to a friend, and I had to run all these patches on the Pokemon, and it was not fun looking it up on Google. And now I don't have to. So I definitely recommend, if you have an R4 or if you plan to buy one, check this out. Thanks for watching.